Action.
Okay, so we are working on burning screens today. This is a 3-color separation and this one is a 2-color separation. And how this works is each color has to go on its own screen. So there's the white and there's the red. But we've got to get them to line up on the 2 different screens to each other. So what we're going to do is we are going to measure from the top of the screen down to the image the number of inches down we want them. This is going on the front of the shirt, so it needs to be 4 inches down. This is going on the front of the shirt, so it needs to be 4 inches down, but each one is on a different, is laid out on the same sheet. So we're just going to cut it apart. Here's our cream.
So smooth.
There's our gold and our chocolate. Okay, now the problem with this image is that the top of this is not the top of the image, and the top of this is the top of our image, but how are we going to determine where they're at? So what I need to do is I need to lay these down here, and we need to calculate how far down each of these is from the top of the image. So the gold is going to be about 2 inches further down. So this is going to be 6 inches down. Okay, so we know that this is going to be 4 inches down from the top. This one then will be 6 inches down, and this one will be 6.5 inches down. And that will give us our overlay, so we know where it's going to be on the screen. Now, same thing with this one. We know that this one is going to be 4 inches from the top, but this is going to be a lot further down. So I'm going to measure it off of the color sheet, and I'm going to start at 4 inches. And right here where it runs through the E is the same place over here, and that's at 10.25 inches. So now I can take them to the screens. I'm going to cut off some of the excess so that we're not having that in the way. Because if your vellums overlap, it won't see it as being clear. It'll make a void, and it will blow out when you wash the screen. Okay.
And what's a blowout?
A blowout is the emulsion is in the screen, and it's a pink substance, and when you spray the water on it after you've hit it with light, it will blow the image out that hasn't been affected by the light.
Mm-hmm.
So if I've got 2 places where the vellum is overlapping like this area will blow out. It's not going to.
And so it'll be a hole.
It'll be a
in
hole
the vellum.
in the screen.
In the screen, yeah.
In the emulsion on the screen. Okay, I do not need these in here. Okay, time to go pink.
Let's see how good this thing does in dark light.
Take the tape and measure the stick. We'll come in here in the dark.
Dun dun dun.
And we're gonna turn on.
It's now a perfect time to tell ghost stories. You ever heard the one about Blood Road?
No, I don't think I have.
I'll have to tell you sometime. It's an awesome one in Michigan. Oh wow, the auto correction on the camera, I didn't know it could do that. Turn the red light into a light. So it's taking the red light and filtering it so it looks like we have light in this room instead of the really dark red light. It's kind of cool.
So this has got the photo emulsion in it. It's also got some ghosting from previous run.
Mm-hmm.
So it may or may not work.
We shall find out.
We shall find out. Now,
it's actually better with the white light.
We're going to place our images upside down on the screen on the back side that's flush with the rod.
Okay.
So this is going to come down 4 inches. And we're just going to put it kind of in the center of the screen.
That's tall.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room in here to work.
Well, it's not built for multiple people to be hanging out in here.
That's true.
We could have an awesome rave party in here, though. Especially with that red light.
Just kind of tack it down so it doesn't really shift around a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is for the same image, so we don't want it on the same screen.
Yep.
I mean, it may seem logical.
Well, why don't
but
we put
you
it on, like,
know.
If we put it on the same screen... Oh, wait, no, because then we couldn't use them at the same time.
Exactly.
Aha!
Joe is thinking.
Well, I also, was going to say it for the fans who also need to be thinking. So I'm like, well, we could just cover it up and only do once. Oh, but then we can't do the complete shirt all at once.
Right. So there is our 4 inches down.
So that means we'll need at least 3, though.
Yep, we're going to need 3 screens.
Because one of them needs 3 colors.
I'm only going to burn 2 screens today because I'm working on 2 more screens that will have to be burned as well. So
Okay.
I'll only burn 2 screens today. And we'll go turn
Sorry
on
about the
equipment
flickering
here.
from red to white to the camera trying to auto correct.
Okay, so we've got it on there. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the glass. You put the flat side of the screen on the glass.
Mm-hmm.
But check it first. Make sure there isn't any.
Because otherwise those will show up
Yours.
too.
Yeah, that's on the bottom of the glass.
Should we clean it? Like, I got acetone upstairs if you like a nice... Acetone won't
This
melt
is
the
good
glass.
for today.
Okay.
I'll
I'll probably clean it sometime.
But we'll need to razor blade it at some point.
Ooh, razor blades.
What happens is the reason why it gets gunk on there is that it picks stuff up from the tape as the tape gets warm. And if the photo
dust
emulsion isn't
and
completely dry when they put the screens on, that sticks to it too.
As well as, dust and love and...
It doesn't really get a lot of dust because it stays closed.
Oh, good.
We don't leave it open. Okay, so we've got a lot of things here that don't really matter. We're going to turn the light on. That sucks the vacuum down. So I guess it does matter if the vacuum's on or not, but but that sucks that down. This stuff is light sensitive, but it's not that light sensitive. People get really freaked out when I do this. I could do this with the door open and it'd be fine. You just don't want to do it for too long. Okay,
It's more fun with the door closed anyways.
this is 6 inches down. All the way around. If you want it close, it doesn't have to be precise because we can fine tune it on the machine. And we can adjust for twist and that type of thing, so that's not really a huge issue.
But it still makes it easier.
Right. It takes about 15 minutes to burn a screen. So 10 1/4 down.
Before you blow out said screens, you also want to make sure the drain is in the floor.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Comments from the peanut gallery. I heard that.
I'm not sure if you guys heard that, but that he just shouted, "I heard that." Because the microphone is pretty good on the camera, but at the same time.
Okay, I'm just going to check this. We've got enough room here that if we needed to put like a couple of pockets on here, we could do that.
Do you want to?
I don't have one to put on with it.
Alright, so we won't.
We're going to leave it for this time, but you could generally put like as many things on here as what you can fit.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to make sure that it's in the right area.
Places.
You know, decimal light say. And then we'll step out where it's quieter.
I love your lock.
And it works. This is a screenshot. Everything is, yeah. Okay, so we got those burning. But when I started working here, the previous owner would absolutely fill the screen. And then she would adjust her platens and her machines 6 ways from Sunday. It took forever to set up.
Mm-hmm.
We learned very quickly that by charging $15 a screen, it was paying for the emulsion and for the cleanup of the emulsion and cleanup of the screens, even if we only had one image on there. We still try to put as much as we can on a screen, but if we only get one image on, it's okay. That way we're not playing with the stanchion quite so much. It doesn't take as long to set up. Now we're going to go over here and plug in the backwash. Now it's on. You can see the red light is on.
Yeah, and this is the UV light that dries the ink, correct?
Correct. And the way our shop is so small and everything, it's just easier to have one of our 4 platens empty.
Mm-hmm.
So that it can sit under the back flash.
Without accidentally lighting on fire.
Right, without burning boards, which you can see some of the boards are burned.
Yeah, no, I was here when one of them lit on fire. It was kind of awesome. Nick was not happy.
Turn on the dryer.
Which took forever to...
This takes about 30 minutes to warm up.
Yeah, you guys missed the fact that the whole dryer... so what happened is one of the filaments, the heating filaments, broke down. So we took out the heating filament, and there used to be a box up there of quote-unquote replacement heating filaments. So we took one. It was about 2 inches too big. We kind of made it fit. It shorted out. So then we're like, oh crap. So we took it out and it still wasn't working. Then we found out that the wires were ancient and dried and brittle and were sparking everywhere. So we took out all the wires and then hunted around and finally only found them online because they have to be heat resistant wires. And so yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Like, there was a lot of electrocutions that day. Mostly Nick. Okay. Mostly Nick, and I think that was on purpose. So, I mean, I didn't plan to zap him, but mix your ink.
So we're going to be doing 40 shirts, but even though this color is going to be the smallest amount of color on there, I need probably 2 cups worth of ink, even though maybe only a cup is going to go onto the shirts.
Why do we need at least 2 cups?
Because it's got to be enough to spread out.
Ah, okay.
So, having tested and made the perfect color, I now know what has to go in this ink. So we're going to put the Post-it note color in. And we're going to put in...
I love the names of the colors.
Sparkling Gold.
Ah, actually, it's kind of sparkling.
Yeah, it is.
I want to bathe in it.
No. Not good for you. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about ink.
Go ahead.
So, when you pull ink from the container, you should make your ink as flat as possible and not just gouge out the ink.
Makes sense.
Because what happens is it gives less surface for stuff like dust and dirt and crap to fall on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to mix this into the gold container or yellow container because
not much left of it.
There's not much left of it, and we're going to use every bit of it. So every bit of what's left. But the past silk screeners have just gouged the ink. That
And Joe will do better.
doesn't leave a level surface, you get more crap in there. If you don't get the ink put away right away, it causes issues.
And OCD-ness happens.
Yeah, and
Or CDO.
CDO, yeah. So it's better if the ink is flat.
Mm-hmm.
Left flat. Now, ink is...
Same thing with peanut butter, all those of you listening. and freaking butter. Come on, guys. Stop making my butter or my cheese. Like, cut the cheese straight. You're cutting cheese slices anyway, so don't like hack at it like an 80s movie killer.
Like my 10-year-old?
That too. Oh, 80s movie killer. That works. I had barbecue on my beard. It was delicious. Anyways.
So, and just, this is plastisol. It's a little stiff to mix.
It's kind of fun because it doesn't really dry out until UV hits it.
Right.
Like these lights, they're not UV lights, so whatever. And that's why
they will eventually dry out.
That's why the massive doors. Well, anything will eventually dry out.
I need to go just a hair darker. Now, this is the thread that we're matching. We're getting close, but it needs more of the gold.
More of the sparkling gold. Isn't that like delicious looking? Like you could bathe in that. You would feel so kingly.
Frosting on a cake.
I am a queen, you must listen to me. For I am covered in gold. And it is sparkling gold. Like gold isn't really as bright yellow as people think it is as well. So this is actually a much closer color to what actual gold looks like before it's been oxidized or mixed with ink, or not ink, nickel, or other stuff. A little bit of science for you guys.
This is actually closest to the color of iron pyrite.
Iron pyrite's fun.
Which is fool's gold.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest difference to tell iron pyrite from rose gold in a hurry is rose gold is soft, iron pyrite is hard.
Like true gold, you can actually bend with your fingers.
Right. You can scratch it with your finger.
Which is actually usually why with jewelry is not pure gold.
It's usually brass.
Well, there's
Mixed
brass.
into it.
Yeah, it's either brass because brass has the same beautiful shine, or it's nickel.
Right.
Which is actually where it gets its, because brass and nickel, that's where it gets its brighter color from.
So we're pretty close. Maybe a little bit more sparkling gold.
Gold's a little close. The sparkling gold's almost the same color.
It's too garish though.
Garish is fun. I think
that's pretty close.
That's pretty close.
That's pretty close.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna scoop that off.
Flatten it. Flatten it, woman.
I gotta get it off the knife to be able to flatten it.
Yeah. Excuses.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Good enough.
Now, I don't want to get it too close to the thread because I don't want to...
Accidentally dip them into each other?
Yeah.
It's like, well, now the thread matches perfectly. We'll just dye the thread, then it'll match perfectly with the ink, right?
I think my husband would be too happy with me. Okay.
He'd never know we accidentally dyed the thread.
This is one of Angela's #1 pet peeves. Is people don't clean the lids, so when you go to put them back on, they don't seat right. And they stick. And yeah, it only takes a couple minutes, people.
Yeah, it also annoys me when people borrow my super glue and do that. Or my silicone.
I mean, yeah, you're going to lose a little bit of glue and you're going to use a little bit of paper towel, but you know what? I don't want to be covered in ink when I go to the cabinet and take ink out.
Ink
And
everywhere.
that's been happening a lot lately, and it's really annoying.
You just bathe in the gold, shining gold.
No, I'm not going to bathe in the shiny gold.
It's pretty.
The chemical I'm using to clean it off is an environmentally safe, blah, blah, blah. You can supposedly eat it. I wouldn't, but you supposedly can.
Supposedly eat it. What is it called?
It's Bob's Screen Wash.
Bob's Screen Wash. All right. So I'm going to buy me some Bob's Screen Wash and chew on it.
No.
You supposedly can eat it.
You can supposedly.
But then again, you can supposedly eat people, but that's bad too.
Yeah.
Are we also going to clean off the shining gold lid?
I will get there.
Are you sure?
Cleaning off the.
Well, we're coming to because this only records in 20-minute intervals, so we're going to pause for a bit while she cleans stuff.
Yep.
And then we'll come back in a bit. So, see you all. Have fun. This has been Joseph
And Angela.
at American Screen and Print. Probably should have done that at the beginning.
Oh well.